यस सर।
क्यों एब्सेंट क्यों हो गए, कुछ आइडिया?
डोंट नो सर।
रोल नंबर बोलो, कौन कौन एब्सेंट है?
25।
25।
75 सर, 75।
अच्छा 75।
78।
78।
79।
79।
यस सर।
ओके, अगर बीच में आ जाएंगे तो बता देना, ठीक है?
यस सर।
अच्छा, आप लोगों का कोई क्लास हुआ है क्या इसका? SPCW का क्लास हुआ है? TNOC? TNOC 30B आई एम आस्किंग कि मैंने कोई आपका STCW का क्लास लिया है कि नहीं?
नो सर।
आज पहला क्लास है?
हाँ सर।
ओके। चलिए, ओके, जस्ट सी द स्क्रीन। Statutory requirement for abandoned ship drill. You know what is the abandoned ship? GME and TNOC, what do you understand by abandoned ship? एक नॉलेज कीजिए, कोई भी दोनों में से एक एक आदमी एक नॉलेज कीजिए एटलीस्ट।
Sir, to leave the ship.
Okay, this is verbally order from the master for crew to leave the ship immediately. By क्यों? Because there is a emergency. तो इमरजेंसी क्या क्या होता है? फायर, फ्लडिंग, कोलिजन, पायलट्स अटैक, hull failure, engine failure. Okay, so there are so many emergency. हाँ सर, रखें। गुड मॉर्निंग। हाँ अच्छा ठीक है, मैं ड्यूटी रूम में है, द्रौपदी की क्लास दे रहा हूँ, 24 है नहीं। और हाँ ठीक है, मैं ड्यूटी रूम में हूँ। ओके, सो देयर आर सो मेनी इमरजेंसी, ठीक है? तो इस टाइप का अगर कोई इमरजेंसी है एंड now your ship is in distress, about to sink, so master will give order, hands to first order क्या देगा? hands to emergency station, hands to emergency station। समझ गया इसका मतलब क्या होता है? कि 7 short and 1 prolonged long blast, 7 short and 1 prolonged long blast। जहाज में विसल लगता है, ठीक है? सायरन का नाम सुने हो?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो बजर बजेगा, साउंड बजेगा, 7 शॉट 1 लॉन्ग ब्लास्ट। इसका मतलब होता है कि देयर इज ए इमरजेंसी, तब आप लोग क्या करेंगे? ऑल क्रू विल वियर द लाइफ जैकेट, टेक योर important documents and muster in front of your respective muster station. आपका मस्टर स्टेशन कहाँ हो सकता है? जहाज से जब आप भागेंगे तो कहाँ
Sir,
जाएंगे?
on the deck side, sir.
हाँ बेटा, डेक साइड नहीं जाओगे, वहां पे जाओगे, उसको बोलते हैं बोट स्टेशन। बोट, जहाज के आइदर साइड, बोथ साइड यू विल फाइंड ए लाइफ बोट्स एंड लाइफ राफ्ट। एक रबर का घर पता है ना, लाइफ राफ्ट।
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो आप जब यहाँ शिप में आओगे, व्हेन यू कम टू द शिप, ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले जब साइन इन करोगे तो आपका नाम लिख दिया जाता है लाइफ राफ्ट या लाइफ बोट में, और आपको बता दिया जाएगा कि इन केस ऑफ इमरजेंसी यू विल मस्टर इन फ्रंट ऑफ योर रिस्पेक्टिव लाइफ राफ्ट और लाइफ बोट। ये नहीं कि आपका नाम लाइफ बोट नंबर 1 में है और आप लाइफ राफ्ट में जाके खड़े हैं, समझ गए? आपको आपका नाम जहाँ पे लिखा है
Yes, sir.
तो वहीं जाना है, ठीक है? तो ये पहले पहले हम आपको सब ये सिर्फ सिखा देंगे, और ये सब सीखने के बाद का ड्रिल है कि जैसे 7 शॉट 1 लॉन्ग ब्लास्ट लगता है, तो जो जहाँ पे काम कर रहा है, आप शिप में यू आर वर्किंग इन इंजन रूम, वर्किंग इन डेक, यू आर वर्किंग ऑन अ ब्रिज, लेट इट बी एनीवेयर, लीव योर प्लेस, वियर लाइफ जैकेट एंड मस्टर योर respective life raft or life boat. After that, wait for next order. Wait for next order. Coxswain will make report to the bridge. अगर बोट है, लाइफ बोट है, तो the person who is in charge of the boat is known as a coxswain. COXWAIN, van, coxswain. Coxswain will make report, or one respective one officer, second officer, third officer, कोई भी हो सकता है. He will make report to the bridge. Bridge, life boat number 1, all crew muster, life jacket checked, everything is okay sir, ready for next order. ठीक है, समझ में आ गया? तो नेक्स्ट ऑर्डर क्या मिलेगा मालूम है? नेक्स्ट ऑर्डर आपको ये मिलेगा, अबैंडन शिप। क्या मिलेगा? अबैंडन शिप।
Abandon ship.
Yeah, that means this is last verbally order from the master for crew to leave the ship immediately. Okay? No doubt? Abandon
Sir,
ship में कोई डाउट? ये वर्बली ऑर्डर मास्टर देता है, दूसरा कोई नहीं देगा। एंड दिस इज लास्ट ऑर्डर, जिसके पहले जितने भी ऑर्डर हैं सब कैंसल। So this is last verbally order from the master for crew to leave the ship immediately. Okay. अब देखिए आपका ड्रिल शुड बी कैरिड आउट एज फॉलोज। कब कब ड्रिल आपके होने चाहिए? रूटीन एक्सरसाइज शुड बी अवॉइडेड। एसेंशियल टास्क शुड बी रिपीटेड एट ईच ड्रिल। The frequency of these drill is stipulated by safety of life at sea, also governed by flag state and company requirement, which may exceed the minimum IMO requirement. Minimum IMO requirement. Sufficient number of trained person on board for mustering and assigning assisting on trained person. ये समझ में आएगा? जब जहाज में जाओगे तो यू आर ऑन ट्रेन ना, तो ट्रेन पर्सनल, जैसे हम लोग यहाँ पे ट्रेन हैं, तो यहाँ पे आओगे तो मैं STCW पढ़ा रहा हूँ, इसका प्रैक्टिकल कराऊंगा आपको, कैसे बोट पे वर्क करेंगे, कैसे आइटम क्या है, लाइफ रैफ्ट में क्या आइटम है, लाइफ बोट में क्या आइटम है, हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू लॉन्च ए लाइफ राफ्ट, हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू लॉन्च ए लाइफ रैफ्ट. So we will teach, that means the trained personnel will train untrained personnel. And sufficient number of crew member for operating the survival craft. Sufficient number of crew member for operating the survival craft. Sufficient number, बहुत ज़्यादा लोग रहेंगे आपको ट्रेन करने के लिए. Sufficient number of crew members for operating the survival craft. ऑपरेट करने के लिए कितने आदमी चाहिए? सफिशियंट आदमी चाहिए. ठीक है. अगर लाइव बोट है तो उसके लिए जानते हो कौन कौन चाहिए? एक रहता है बोमैन, दूसरा है स्टर्न शिपमैन, थर्ड वन इज फॉरवर्ड ग्राइप्समैन, पीछे रहेगा उसको बोलते हैं आफ ग्राइप्समैन, विंच ऑपरेटर, लेडर मैन एंड पेंटर लाइन. पेंटर लाइन के लिए एक आगे और वन रियर. और डेक ऑफिसर टू बी इन चार्ज ऑफ ईच लाइफ बोट and shall have list of crew under his command. ये डेक ऑफिसर रहेगा, वो रहेगा बोट के इंचार्ज, उसके पास लिस्ट रहेगी. he will have a list of crew and second in command shall also be nominated. और in case of ये कहीं भी इधर उधर हो गया तो दूसरा एक ऑफिसर नॉमिनेट करके रखोगे. कंपनी मास्टर कैप्टन नॉमिनेट करके रखेगा. सेकेंड इन कमांड शैल ऑल्सो बी नॉमिनेटेड. एनी डाउट? A person assigned capable of operating the engine and carrying out minor adjustment. जो भी बंदा इंचार्ज है उसको इंजन के बारे में भी ऑपरेटिंग पता होना चाहिए, एज वेल एज माइनर एडजस्टमेंट, छोटा मोटा काम उसको आना चाहिए. तो समझ में आ गया आपको कि इंचार्ज इसका कौन रहता है? डेक ऑफिसर. और अंडर सुपरविजन ऑफ बोसन. ठीक है. चलिए. मस्टर and embarkation arrangement. Live boat and life raft shall be stored as close to the accommodation and service space as possible. सुन लीजिए, लाइव बोट कहाँ रहेगा? लाइव बोट एंड लाइफ रैफ्ट शैल बी stored as close to the accommodation. जस्ट जहाँ पे ब्रिज के साइड में दोनों साइड में, ठीक है, बोथ साइड, स्टारबोर्ड साइड एंड पोर्ट साइड, दोनों ही साइड में क्या रहेगा?
Life
बोट
boats
या लाइव बोट एंड
and
लाइफ
life rafts.
क्राफ्ट. यस. क्यों नजदीक रहेगा? दूर रहेंगे तो आप जाते जाते लफड़ा हो जाएगा. नजदीक रहेगा, दरवाजा खोलो सीधा आपको बोट स्टेशन ही मिलेगा. ठीक है. मास्टर स्टेशन शैल बी प्रोवाइडेड क्लोज टू द एम्बार्केशन स्टेशन. एंड जहाँ से बोट को लोअर करते हैं, बोट डेक एंड एम्बार्केशन डेक बोलते हैं, जहाँ पे मस्टर हो जाओगे. ठीक है. तो वो भी नज़दीकी है. मस्टर एंड एम्बार्केशन स्टेशन टू बी रेडिली एक्सेसिबल. ये नहीं कि जो एरिया है, रास्ते हैं, वो ब्लॉक होने चाहिए, एक्सेसिबल होना चाहिए कि आप जैसे जाओ तो सीधा वहीं पे पहुंचो. Sufficient illumination to be provided in case of night. In case of night time, sufficient illuminating light should be provided. Lighting to be supplied from emergency source of electrical power. अगर बाय द वे लाइट का कहीं प्रॉब्लम है तो अलग से सप्लाई दिया जाएगा उधर, ठीक है ना। इलेक्ट्रिकल वाला ही विल गिव सप्लाई टू emergency station or embarkation station. Always stairways and access to this station shall be also be similar provided with lighting. और जो स्टेयरवेज हैं, जो सीढ़ी है ना, लेडर, चढ़ने उतरने के लिए जो लेडर है, एंड एग्जिस्ट, जो बाहर निकलते हैं, वहां पे भी क्या होना चाहिए, वेल एल्यूमिनेटिंग लाइट। पिक्चर हॉल में गए हो कभी? आप देखते हो जैसे पिक्चर छूटता है वो दोनों तीनों दरवाजों पे एग्जिस्ट लिखा रहता है रेड से। जैसे पिक्चर छूटता है लोग उसी रास्ते से निकल के चुपचाप बाहर निकल जाते हैं। तो वेल एल्यूमिनेटिंग लाइटिंग प्रोवाइडेड देयर, ठीक है। Appropriate symbol to be displayed at muster and embarkation deck. Appropriate symbol, you know what is a symbol? Displayed at muster and embarkation. एक एरो मार्क कर देते हैं रेट्रो रिफ्लेक्टिंग टेप से और लिख देते हैं मस्टर स्टेशन। तो एरो बना देंगे, इसका मतलब है कि किसी को ढूंढने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। एरो शोज दैट दिस साइड इज मस्टर स्टेशन सिंबल। तो सिंबल समझ में आ गया। मस्टर स्टेशन का बोर्ड लगा रहेगा। नाउ embarkation ladder extending in a single length from deck to waterline in light condition of ship to be provided. Embarkation ladder extending in a single length from deck to waterline in the light condition of ship to be provided. एक एम्बार्केशन लेडर होती है, एम्बार्केशन लेडर, ठीक है। जैसे बोट को लोअर करोगे तो एक दो आदमी मिलके उस लेडर को लोअर करेंगे साइड में। तो क्रू एंड पैसेंजर कैन disembark and embark by this ladder is known as a embarkation ladder. Means to be provided for holding David launch live boat alongside at embarkation deck. And David launch provided holding David launch live boat, the boat which is lowered by David. David जानते हो क्या? What is the David? The David is an instrument or equipment by which boat can lower and hoist. There are so many types of David: gravity David, Miranda David, quadrantal David, fixed David, radial David, and luffing David. Merchant ships are using and एक फ्री फॉल होता है ट्रैक वे, उधर स्लाइड हो जाता है पीछे से जहाज के। No doubt.
No, sir. Carry on, sir.
Okay. See, lower to the deck level boat. This is your open live boat. First lower up to embarkation deck. Rig the toggle painter. Toggle painter is the length of rope, When there is an emergency, when you get emergency, hence to abandon ship. Nobody is on ship to cast off the boat, so you can cast off the boat by inside by using this toggle painter. Remove the toggle painter, and your boat can cast off, and you can leave the ship immediately. Left to lower, that is down below. This one is हैंडल. ये हैंडल को पकड़ के ऊपर करते हैं. ऊपर करोगे इसको बोलते हैं डेड मैन वेट. एज सुन एज यू पुल दिस अप योर बोट विल साइमल्टेनियसली गो टू द डाउन बिलो. स्लोली धीरे धीरे एक साथ जाएगी बोट. And when your boat is lower up to embarkation deck, take out this tricing pendant. Tricing pendant is a wire rope attached with a davit arm to the floating block, near to the floating block, and it is not allowed to swing the boat outward. That's why we are using tricing pendant. Using tricing pendant. तो ट्राइसिंग पेंडेंट समझ में आ गया क्या है? Tricing pendant is a wire rope attached with a davit arm to floating block here. जब ये बोट एम्बार्केशन डेक पे आएगी तो इसको निकाल दोगे. ये क्यों लगाते हैं? बिकॉज जब ये लगा देंगे तो ये बोट आउटसाइड स्विंग नहीं होगी. इट इज नॉट अलाउड टू स्विंग outward. That's why we are putting this tricing pendant. No doubt. See, this is tricing pendant and this is bowsing in tackle. This is bowsing in tackle. When you remove this tricing pendant, boat will swing outward. When your boat is lower up to embarkation deck, as soon as your boat is lower up to embarkation deck, take out the tricing pendant and put the bowsing in tackle. एक आगे और एक पीछे दो bowsing tackle लगा दीजिए. That means it is not allowed to swing the boat again outward, and it will close to the embarkation deck. And from here you can board inside the live boat and live raft. No doubt. The stowage of the live boat should be clear of the propeller. They should be also clear of overhanging portion of hull. Each live boat shall be provided with an appliance which is capable of launching and recovering of the live boat. There shall always be provision for hanging of the live boat to the free the release gear for maintenance. एक यहाँ पे चीज है जो लगा दोगे तो आप उसका मेंटेनेंस कर सकते हो. There shall be a provision for hanging of the live boat to free the release gear for maintenance. क्या चीज है वो? उसको जानते हो क्या बोलते हैं? उसको बोलते हैं FPD. FPD, fall preventer device. Fall preventer device. FPD. The operator should be able to observe the live boat at all times during hoisting and loading. बोसन ऑब्जर्व कौन करेगा? बोसन विल ऑब्जर्व The lifeboat at all time during hosting and lowering के time that operator should observe. Next is adequate lighting should be provided on the station and the area of water. Sufficient light should be provided on station and area of water. वहाँ पे sufficient light होना चाहिए. Discharge of water into the lifeboat during abandon should be prevented. जब लाइफ बोट को डिस्चार्ज ये कर रहे हो, लोअर कर रहे हो, तो उसमें से वाटर को डीप ब्लास्टिंग मत करिए, मत निकालो. Every crew member with assigned emergency duties shall be familiar with these duties before the boil begins. Every crew member with assigned emergency duties shall be familiar with these duties before the voyage begins. A boat drill will be held within 24 hours if more than 25% of crew have been replaced. A boat drill should be held within 24 hours if more than 25% of crew have been replaced. समझ में आ गया कि ये बोट ड्रिल कब होना चाहिए, कब होगा? विदिन 24 आवर्स, 24 घंटे में होना चाहिए. कब? when 25% क्रू हैव बीन रिप्लेस्ड. जब 24-25% क्रू जब चेंज होते हैं तो 24 घंटे के अंदर ड्रिल होना चाहिए. ड्रिल शैल बी कंडक्टेड एज if there is an actual emergency. अगर इमरजेंसी एक्चुअल इमरजेंसी हो जाता है तो आप वो ड्रिल आप कर सकते हैं. At least one abandoned ship drill and one fire drill shall be held every month. एक फायर ड्रिल और एक abandoned ship drill होना चाहिए every month. At least one abandoned ship drill and one fire drill shall be held every month. ये जरा ध्यान देना, ये लिखने के लिए भी आता है कि 24 within 24 hours if 25% crew can change, the drill should be conducted and at least one abandoned ship drill and one fire drill shall be conducted every month. On-board training and instructions. Above training in the use of LSA and FFA shall be given as soon as possible, but not later than 2 weeks after crew member join. क्लास चल रहा है. Above training in the use of the LSA and FFA shall be given as soon as possible, but not later than 2 weeks after crew member join. क्रू मेंबर जब ज्वाइन होते हैं तो इनकी ट्रेनिंग जो है लाइफ एलएसए या एफएफए, लाइफ सेविंग अप्लायंसेस एंड फायर फाइटिंग अप्लायंसेस, नॉट लेटर देन 2 वीक ऑफ क्रू मेंबर ज्वाइन। जब क्रू ज्वाइन करते हैं तो विद इन 2 वीक के अंदर होना चाहिए, 2 वीक्स। The instruction shall include operation and use of ship inflatable life raft, on-board training and instruction, operation and use of ship's inflatable life raft, problem of hypothermia, use of LSA in a severe weather, operation and use of fire extinguishing appliances, general alarm signal, engine room headquarter emergency duties, record of muster and drill, the date and other detail of following to be recorded in the log book। जब आपका जो मास्टर ड्रिल होता है उस टाइम एक लॉग बुक होती है, उसके अंदर रिकॉर्ड किया जाता है, लिखा जाता है। अबैंडन शिप ड्रिल, फायर ड्रिल, ऑन बोर्ड ट्रेनिंग इन द यूज ऑफ लाइफ सेविंग अप्लायंसेस एंड फायर फाइटिंग अप्लायंसेस। If the drill is not carried out at the appointed time, an entry shall be made in the logbook giving the reason। If the drill is not carried out, अगर आपने ड्रिल नहीं किया है, the appointed time in entering shall be made in the logbook giving the reason। तो logbook में reason देना पड़ता है कि why the drill has not carried out। Before the ship leave port and at all time during the voyage, all life-saving appliances shall be in working order and ready for immediate use। Before the ship leave port and at all time during the voyage, all life-saving appliances shall be in working order and ready for immediate use। The drill should be conducted in a safe manner, but also realistically as safety permits। After the drill, a review should be carried out so as to improve upon appropriate for tackling emergency. Live boats and rescue boat. At least one boat should be lowered during each abandoned ship drill at interval not exceeding 1 month. Live boat and rescue boat. The boat should be exercised in the water at least once every 3 months. At least one boat should be lowered during the each abandoned ship drill. 1 महीने में एक बार abandoned ship drill होगा तो बोट को लोअर ही करना है and not exceeding 1 month. 1 महीने ज़्यादा नहीं होनी चाहिए. And the boat should be exercised in the water at least once every 3 months. ठीक है. और 3 महीने में कम से कम एक बार आपका लाइव बोट ड्रिल होना ही चाहिए. Lifeboat falls. The fall should be turned end to end at interval not exceeding 30 months. बोट फॉल समझते हैं क्या बोलते हैं बोट फॉल? GME guys, can you tell me what you understand by boat fall? Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
So what do you understand by the boat fall? It is a wire rope. The wire rope which is used for lifting and lowering a boat. The wire rope which is used for hoisting and lowering a boat is known as a boat falls. Boat falls. Okay, no doubt.
No doubt. Okay, clear, sir.
End to end, you should tell end to end. ठीक है. 30 महीने के अंदर TNOC 30 महीने के अंदर वायर रोप को चेंज करोगे एंड टू एंड. जो डेबिट में लगा है उसको विंच में डालोगे, जो विंच का एंड है वो डेबिट में जाएगा. ठीक है. नाउ द फॉल शुड बी रिन्यूड एट इंटरवल नॉट एक्सीडिंग 5 years. और जो नया जो चेंज करोगे आप बोट फॉल वायर रोप, उसको अब करोगे वो 5 साल के अंदर. दोनों चीज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है. Live load test of boat debit and fall must be carried out as per SOLAS rule. लोड टेस्ट जानते हो बोट का क्या होता है? किसी भी चीज का लोड टेस्ट होता है. जब नया देते हैं ना आपको तो बोट फॉल्स का सब कुछ का टेस्ट करके देते हैं विथ टेस्ट सर्टिफिकेट. तभी तो आपको पता चलेगा ना कि ये टेस्ट किया हुआ है. लोड टेस्टेड है, वायर रोप इज टेस्टेड, और उसके ऊपर एक पंच करके लगा देते हैं, स्टील का पंच कर देते हैं टेस्टेड on so and so date. From that date to 5 years, you will count. अरे जीएमई लोग, आप लोगों का क्या है अभी? जाओ सब लोग जाओ टाइम से। Life raft need to be serviced annually by shore-based authority service station. Life raft need to be serviced. 1 साल तक की उसकी लाइफ होती है। 1 साल के बाद उसको सर्विस स्टेशन में भेजना पड़ता है। किसके लिए? फिर वो टेस्ट सर्टिफिकेट देगा 1 साल का। ठीक है। Life raft lashing and hydrostatic release system must be checked for validity. वो hydrostatic release system, HRU, hydrostatic release system must be checked for validity. उसका validity टाइम कब तक है वो चेक करते हैं। Live boats and life raft lowering instructions need to be posted in vicinity and illuminated through emergency sources of power. Live boat and life raft lowering instructions need to be posted in a vicinity and illuminated through emergency source of power. जो लाइव बोट लोअर करते हैं उसका इंस्ट्रक्शन लिखा रहता है, वो लाइव बोट स्टेशन पे लगा होना चाहिए कि इजीली एनीबॉडी कैन लोअर द लाइव बोट, लाइव राफ्ट। घनश्याम, ये कॉरिडोर का लाइट है ना, रात को उड़ गया था। हाँ, ये पूरा कॉरिडोर ही नहीं है, एक लाइट कोई तरीके से करके दिया है। और मेरा ये भी लाइट देखो ना, ये कॉरिडोर वर्क को तो मास्टर करता हूँ रात को तो अंधेरा रहता है। हेलो,
यस सर।
टाइम कब तक है?
सर हो गया सर टाइम।
कितना? 45 मिनट का है कि 1 घंटे का है?
सर 1 घंटे का।
अच्छा, हो गया ना, चलो ओके।
यस सर।
अभी नेक्स्ट क्लास कब है?
डोंट नो सर।
ठीक है, अभी तो पहला ही क्लास है ना, अभी चलेगा, अगला वीक भी चलेगा मेरा ख्याल है ना।
यस
या
सर।
ठीक है, ओके,
थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू।
Good morning, boys.
Good morning, ma'am.
This is a batch who is scheduled for EFA today, right?
Yes,
Isab?
ma'am.
Okay, fine. Mm, I'll just start recording 1 second. Okay. Next 3 days from now, we will be dealing with elementary first aid. This is a very important course because any kind of emergency, what you encounter on the ship as a first aid or as the primary person who's going to handle is going to be you as an individual. Okay, because there is no onshore doctor who will be there. Whatever knowledge you have acquired during these 3 days, plus whatever down the years as you keep on sailing, because you will have senior people around you in the ship. So, whatever knowledge you will acquire there is what will give you a judgment as to how to manage things and how to go about with things. Okay, so that is why the importance to understand this class, know what to be done where, and what to be conveyed to the onshore doctor. Because another big help that you have is your onshore doctor, which is the radio medical advice. Okay, so if you will convey the correct picture to them, they will also tell you what has to be done further. Plus, also the other thing is they are the ones who will further direct the company depending on the seriousness of the casualty, whether there has to be a helicopter lift or not. So all of it lies very important is how you assess your casualty and what all do you convey to your onshore doctor, because everything, practically everything depends on that decision. Okay, so painting the correct picture is very, very important. We do not want an over exaggeration, but we even do not want an understatement. It is the correct picture which is to be conveyed so that things happen in the right way. The other thing is, whenever you must have entered into Great Eastern, are you all in the campus or are you all at home?
Sir, ma'am, we are at home, but we are coming campus on Monday.
Okay, fine. The other thing which you must have, your exit exam, that means is on the 6th of August, right? For EFA?
Ma'am, we don't know about exit exam.
Because, yes, I think it is on the 6th. Before you all come, you all are joining back on the 9th, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I just did the other half of your batch. I had 4 students from B batch and I did 20 students of TNOC Group A. So you're the same batch, but I think that is it. Anyway, college people will confirm about it. So, clearing EFA exam, exit exam, because the entire content is a little different. Y'all are all more from the technical stream, but this is more of medical line. For GPR and TNOC boys, it has been a little more difficult. So I would ask all of you to be a little more alert. New terms are there. Wherever I need to wait, wherever I need to ask you to learn up, I will ask you to do it then and there. But you need to concentrate. You need to be present in the class. You need to be alert in the class. Okay.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
we will begin. Who's your class leader? Varun, is it?
Ma'am, we don't have any class leader, ma'am.
Okay. So there is one more thing I would want you all to do. Even the previous boys did not know. There is the DG website. You must go to e-learning, and before that you must. There is a section which says enroll now. So there are some 5 courses that you have to enroll. Even if you do the others later, the code one for EFA is 6131. You can note that down. 6131, and you must enroll, and it asks for your endorsed number, and then there is a face verification. So in case you must see the master checker, if you've given a different face with a beard or with glasses, you will have to give a similar face. Okay, and once you have verified yourself, you will be able to access the DG shipping material. Since you all have very limited time, if I can understand, if you are answering on the 6th, today is already the 4th, 5th, 6th. So maybe the 7th you have your exam, something like that. It's very close only. So you will have to go through this learning material at least twice. Once you will go through with me, I will only make you, because I do not have access to the material. Only you, once you get yourself verified, can see. And I will ask one of you guys to present. Okay, so that we can all discuss and see whatever is important. But this homework you will have to do. You have the time in between today. because I will join back only by 3 again in the afternoon for the next session. Okay. So did you understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You'll have to
Yes.
go to the DG website, e-learning, enroll yourself for 6131 course, which is basic elementary first aid, and put in your registration number, your email ID, do your face verification, and see that portal opens. There are 8 hours of learning material, 9 hours, and there are lots of videos and lots of other supplements. There are question answers also, so you will have to definitely go through it in a good detail. Okay. Now, beginning with the class, how do you go about doing this? How do you go about managing things? So whenever you see a casualty, you make him lie down on a flat surface. Okay. And first of all, what you must do is look, listen, and feel. Look, listen, and feel. This itself will tell you, it will give you a quick assessment as to the seriousness of the situation. Once you have assessed that, then you must call the casualty by name. You must sprinkle some water on him, and you must give him a slap, a pat on the shoulder or a slap on the face, or shake him. You might get a response, you might not get a response. If you don't get a response, you have to go ahead and check the next 5 parameters. The first is pulse rate, the second is respiratory rate, the third is reaction to pupil, the fourth is blood pressure, and the fifth is temperature. So these are the 5 things which over the next hour I will teach you how to count. So beginning with the pulse rate. How do you count the pulse rate? Take 3 fingers and place it on the upper out. This is the thumb side. Okay. Place it on the upper outer aspect of the arm. I want you all to do it. You will feel there is a vessel which is thumping against your finger. If you can appreciate, please raise your hands. Yes, you can appreciate? Okay. I'll just start the timer for all. I want you all to count this for 1 whole minute. Your time starts now. Experience the rhythmicity and see whether it is coming with the same strength or not. That much at your level. Okay, stop. What is the value that you've got?
Ma'am, 81.
81. Okay.
From 74.
Okay.
65.
See, half of you have just written your numbers. If you can write your names also, I will be able to address you. Like I can see Varun, Vedant, Yash, they've written their names, but number 23, I cannot see your name. Put it up so that I can address you. Okay. So if we will see, everybody is almost got in the range of 60 to 90 beats per minute with a mean average of 72 beats per minute. That's the human pulse rate. Okay. Now, not always will you be able to count the pulse rate. What we did now is in the hand. You can do a similar counting on the feet also. Okay. But in cases of shock, okay, or in cases of where there is an actual emergency, because of a compromise, the peripheral pulse is not recorded. Then at that time, you will have to count for the central pulse, which is done at the internal carotid artery. Now, how will you do that? Okay. Turn to one side. Can you see this muscle becoming prominent? Like this over here. And first of all, this is a line in the midline. And when I turn to one side, this muscle becomes prominent. So I made this triangle. I must put in my fingers inside. There is a major vessel which is thumping against. It is present on both sides, so you can do it on either side. Okay, but never press both the carotids together, because then you are cutting off the supply to the head and neck, which can have disastrous consequences. Only pressing one carotid at a time will give you the idea of the central pulse. Anybody who is living will always have a carotid pulse which is palpable. For once, if the patient is shocked, the blood pressure is very low, you might not have the peripheral pulse which is recordable. But if the person is living, the central pulse will always be recordable. If you all have all managed to locate, just raise your hand so that we can do a 1 minute counting there also. If you're having a little problem, try and change the location a little bit. But the idea is a line drawn at the midline and another line at the belly of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The other one is the base of the neck. The base of the neck. So this triangle, you must insert your hand inside, turning on one side. It becomes prominent and you will be able to appreciate it. I can see a few hands up, so you're able to appreciate. I'll start the timer. Please count. Yes, your time starts now. Stop. What is the value that you've got? I want you to put it in the inbox and write central so much and peripheral so much. Is it almost the same value that all of you are getting?
Yes, ma'am. Kind of same. Plus minus 2.
Just put up the value so that we can discuss further.
Ma'am, the neck one is the peripheral.
No, neck is central. The hand
Okay,
is
okay,
peripheral.
okay.
जो भी midline में वैसे याद रखो तो वो central है ऐसा. Okay, 70 and 73 for Yash. Good. How about the others? 81 and 80. Very good, Varun. 74, 73 for Vishnu. 74, 72. Okay. 76, 74, 65, 67 for Syed Baba Rahim. Okay. So as you see, you others can also put it up. It is the same heart which is beating, whether you count the central pulse or the peripheral pulse. So if ideally everything is all right with you, then you should have the same pulse recording. But this you have done at 2 different times. So technically there is a little error in the sense, if you want to document that it is the same pulse, it has to be done by 2 different people and at the same time. While the person at the central pulse is counting, he should speak out aloud and that will correspond with the peripheral pulse. Understood? So it has to be done by 2 people at the same time. Maybe here there is a little second difference, or maybe you've counted a little extra, but still the significance is only when the difference is more than 10, which happens in a condition known as coarctation of aorta. But that too, again, this difference is appreciable or significant only when you do it at the same time. At that time, they have a pulse pressure difference between the central and the peripheral. The difference is more than 10, and that is a little alarming. They will have other signs also. It indicates to that pathological condition, and we can investigate towards it. So just a simple assessment is pointing us and telling us there is a possibility of this major disorder in this individual. Okay, so the very importance of counting the pulse rate, appreciating its rhythmicity, and seeing that it comes with the same frequency. Uska pitch bhi और उसका duration भी, that is very important. I also know of, or I have seen conditions where the pulse is like tuck, tuck. There's a big gap again, tuck, tuck. So ये भी problematic है. Or if it is like tuck, 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 tuck. Understood? This, if you kind of repeatedly keep on palpating, you will appreciate. But in your case, since everything was normal, you all are all normal 18, 19-year-old boys with no problems whatsoever. So that is why you had a normal pulse rate. Okay. Now with this pulse rate itself, I can find out one thing with the rate is whether it is very high. So when do you think you will have a high pulse rate? Tell me.
Ma'am, when we do exercise or workout.
When you do exercise, when you are having fever, if you take a sudden flight of stairs, if you hear some disturbing bit of news. Okay, so these are the conditions जब तुम्हारा pulse rate ज़्यादा हो सकता है. And that term is known as tachycardia. Tachycardia. Now that is one entity. If it is more, there can be less also. That is known as bradycardia. When can you have a low pulse rate?
When we sleeping.
Sleeping.
Sleeping, you are at rest, but tab bhi the range will be between 60 to 90. Even the sleeping pulse rate is not so low. I am talking about a pulse rate of 30 or 40.
Unconscious.
Unconscious, yes. That is why we will have to do further steps. Yeah, that is the right answer. Or the other condition where somebody is totally normal, attending a class like one of us, still everything is comfortable, but the pulse rate is only 30, 35, 40, is a condition which is known as heart block. Okay, depends on the partial heart blocks. Okay, and for them, life is completely compatible unless somebody actually checked onto the pulse rate, found it to be low, and then evaluated and found that the person has a heart block. So just a pulse rate can make us pick up and do a lot of things. Now this is about pulse rate and we have documented. The next entity I am moving on is called the respiratory rate. Are we all breathing? Yes or no? Yes, we are all breathing. What is breathing? The process of taking in air is known as inhalation, and the process of giving out air is known as exhalation. When we are taking in air, yes, the lungs move out, the ribs move out, and the diaphragm moves down. So more space is created and the air can easily move inside. That is, and which is the air that we take inside? Yes?
Oxygen.
We are taking in oxygen. The reverse happens on exhalation. Our ribs move in, the diaphragm moves up, the space is less, so the pressure creation is more, and that is with pressure thrown out. That is expiration or exhalation, and what we are throwing out is called carbon dioxide. This is the normal way in which we breathe. We breathe in, we breathe out. We breathe in, we breathe out. Correct? Okay. Now I will make you do the exercise of counting the respiratory rate. But how to do it is now I will tell you. Either if you just stand plain in front of the mirror and just look at your chest. Keep on looking in the mirror, you will see that there is a rise and fall. The next method that you can do is all is well. Place your hand across like this over the chest. Even then you will be able to appreciate the rise and fall better. The third method is placing a finger, the index finger of the right or left hand, whatever, below the nostril. You will feel a gush of air going in, coming out, going in, coming out. Or what you can do in winter months is place mobile screens or mirrors. You will see there is mist formation. Okay, these are more in winter months because since you all will be traveling all over the world and a lot of areas in a good part of the year are cold, this is also one more test. But the second test and the third test are more practical and can be done more clearly. That is the all is well method and placing your finger below the nostril. Okay, so I want you to count your respiratory rate and remember one thing. Inspiration followed by expiration is to be taken as one count. Just like for pulse rate, you counted every beat, you can't do that for respiration. One cycle is one count, inspiration followed by expiration. So you have to be more smart enough to do this calculation because you should not count double. I'll just start your time now. Okay, hold on. Your time starts now. Please start counting. Close your eyes and do it. You might get a better perception of it. Okay. Tell me how much have you got? What are the values?
16.
1, 6, 16. Okay. Good bunch. Correct. Hai. What about the others?
18.
18.
Yes, ma'am. Same 18.
17, ma'am.
17. Okay. So did you see the difference where you were getting 70s and 80s for your pulse rate? The respiratory rate is just about below 20. So the normal respiratory rate is anything between 12 to 18 breaths per minute. A little bit of variation, 2, 3 here and there is fine. But nobody got 30 and above. Is there somebody who got 30 and above?
No, ma'am.
No. Had you got, maybe that was one of the first clinical symptoms to pick up that maybe somebody is having COVID-19, because in that the respiratory rate goes a little high. Okay. Or you must have seen, even just one look will tell you. It will be like, it's labored breathing. It's breathing with a sound, so you can pick up. But normally when all of you are rest, everybody is looking comfortable, then most of the times, even if not concentrating, you will not be able to make out if somebody is breathing or not. Correct? Okay. Just like that, you can have the two extremes. Like you had tachycardia for a high pulse rate and bradycardia for a low pulse rate. You can have tachypnea for a high respiratory rate and bradypnea for a low respiratory rate. Okay. That's about breathing. The third entity, temperature. How do you check temperature?
By the instrument called thermometer.
Thermometer. And it is reported in 3 gradings. Either you do it in centigrade or Fahrenheit or Kelvin. And there are interconvertible formulas. Normal human body temperature is 98.6, correct, 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees centigrade. And how do you convert it into Kelvin? How do you do that?
And by the formula which is slipped from my mind.
Achha, the formula is T plus 273. T in centigrade plus 273. And over here from centigrade to Fahrenheit, the conversion is 5 by 9 C plus 32. Okay. So if you use that, you will be able to convert and get the temperature in 3 values. But if it is a road traffic accident, then obviously nobody walks around these days with a thermometer. You can just place the back of your hand and that will tell you whether it is cold or somebody is running a fever. Okay. Now the fourth entity which we must measure is known as reaction to pupil. Whenever I will take a flashlight of my mobile or torchlight and get it in front of my eyes, if while doing this I am looking at the mirror or if somebody else is seeing, then the central black portion of the eye, there will be a change in the diameter. It will constrict. This is known as reaction to pupil. Telling you again, look at yourself in the mirror and immediately get a torchlight in front of your eye and keep on looking at your eye. You can flash it from the side. You will see that the diameter of the pupil changes. This is a very important test and it is one test which distinguishes us clearly to tell us whether somebody is living or not. If you have an absolutely still pupil बिल्कुल change ही नहीं करता अपना size, then it means it is more towards somebody not living anymore. Even a person who is very seriously ill, who is in the ICU on the ventilator but still not brain dead, even in such people, when we shine the torchlight, there is a reaction. The eye sends an impulse to the brain and the brain reacts back by changing the size of the pupil. This is known as reaction to pupil. Now take 2 minutes, wherever you have mirrors in your house, go do this test and come back and tell me Yes, you have managed to appreciate the change. Go, do it and come. Do tell me when you are done and you are able to appreciate.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you are able to see the change?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good, very good. Did it become small or did it become big?
Small one.
Yes, it
Okay.
becomes small and
So
medium.
these are the three things. So if there is no pulse rate, there is no respiratory rate, and there is no reaction to pupil, that is a condition when we can safely diagnose somebody as being dead. Okay, so these three things are very, very vital, which decide whether somebody is living or not. And on the ship, because you all are not trained enough to be doing everything, this activity every day, at least 3-4 more people, if they have similar activity, then and only then can we declare somebody dead. So now I have already told you 4 entities. I'll go on to tell you a 5th entity, which is measuring blood pressure. How much is normal blood pressure?
120 by 80.
120
Ma'am,
by
80,
80
120.
No, it is 120 by 80. You have to report like that. The upper value is the systolic value, the lower value is the diastolic value. So 120 by 80 millimeters of mercury. And the instrument by which we measure blood pressure, what is it called? Anybody? The BP apparatus, what is it called? It is called a
Sphygmomanometer.
sphygmomanometer. Okay, a sphygmomanometer. It is a metallic rectangular box of which the upper section can be held vertically, and there is a mercury column over there with calibration. Okay, then there are 2 tubings which are attached there, of which one tubing goes to a cuff. Okay, now the cuff size is very important. Over the most of the cuff is a canvas material, but inside there is another bladder of the cuff where the length of the cuff, that is the bladder of the cuff, should correspond to 80% of the mid-arm circumference. Only then you will get a correct blood pressure reading. So for obese individuals, people who are 100 kgs and above, we have to use a bigger cuff size if their mid-arm circumference is more. And for smaller children, we will need a smaller cuff size. And once we have the correct cuff size, we must tie it around the arm such that the 2 tubings are parallel to the brachial artery. Where is the location of the brachial artery? Over here. You must have taken samples from me. Over here. Okay? Here. So the 2 tubings have to run parallel over here, and you have to tie the cuff around here. Once you have done that, there is one end of the tube where there is a bulb, and above that there is a screw. I'll just show you a video. I'll show you two videos where things will be a little more clearer to you. Then you must close the screw, place one hand on the pulse, okay, and then start inflating. Since we know the upper value is 120, arbitrarily we will raise the value over here till around 200 millimeters of mercury. और तब जब हम सुनना चाहेंगे, then when we try to feel for the pulse, we will not be able to feel any pulse. Okay, then we will gradually open the screw and let the mercury column come down. And we must be very keen and observant. At a particular value, you will start hearing the pulse rate, meaning you will start appreciating the pulse rate. This gives us the value of the upper value, which is 120, as you were saying, the systolic value. And this is the palpatory method of blood pressure estimation. With the palpatory method, we can only get one value, which is the systolic value. Now we will do the next method, which is the auscultatory method. For that, what will you do? Place a stethoscope in the ear and the other stethoscope bell over here. And then again do the same exercise of closing the screw and raising the mercury column up. Okay. Around 120, you will, around 200, you will not hear anything. Then as it is coming down, at a particular value, you will start hearing some sounds. Tuck, 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 tuck. What you need to know is the appearance and the disappearance of these two values. And that will give you the upper range and the lower range. So when I say 120 by 80 millimeters of mercury, मतलब मुझे वो हार्ट साउंड जिसको कोरोटकोफ साउंड्स बोलते हैं 120 पे सुनाई दिए, टक 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 शुरू हुए और टक टक फिनिश हो गए 80 पे, और वो रेंज ही मुझे ब्लड प्रेशर बताता है. And that is how I report it. I'll just show you a video. One second. Okay. I have to measure the blood pressure. Normal blood pressure is 120 by 80 millimeters of. Can you see in here? No, I haven't presented. One second. Can you see now?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see two students sitting with BP apparatus? Yes. Okay, I'm playing it now. Mercury and a BP apparatus and a sphygmomanometer is used to measure the blood pressure. The correct cuff size is very important. It should correspond to 80%. The bladder of the BP cuff should correspond to 80% of the mid-arm circumference. It is wound tightly around the brachial artery, whereby the wires are parallel to them. Okay, then the inflator's knob is closed. Take the inflator on the right side. Huh? Yes. Close the knob. Then the mercury column. You can see the mercury column rising and palpated at the radial pulse. And he will gradually lower the mercury column till he can actually feel for the pulse. This is the palpatory method of BP determination. Okay, can you see over here where my cursor is? This is the mercury column. Currently, it is around 130. Yes? So
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is how with this screw manipulation we can adjust and we can do it to our benefit. Okay? It only gives us a system. You can already feel it. He's nodding his head. So at 120, he could feel for the pulse. That is the upper limit. Next, we'll go in for the auscultatory method, whereby he places a stethoscope at the brachial artery and he will record the hearing of the Korotkoff sounds. When they come, that is the upper limit, which is systole, and when it disappears, it is a lower limit, that is diastole. He gradually see again. You can see the mercury column rising. So as he is pumping in the pump, as air is pushed into it, the mercury column rises. Raising the mercury column to around 200, then he'll open the valve. As the column is falling down, initially he is not hearing anything, but when he can hear, you please nod when you can hear. Yes, he started hearing. Until it disappears, he will keep on noting the value. It has disappeared now. So the normal blood pressure is the casualty's blood pressure, which is 120 by 80 millimeters of mercury. I'll just show you one more video. Very 6-minute video, which is very nice. I don't seem to be finding it good. This one.
डॉक्टर साहब कितना समझाया कोई मान ही नहीं रहा। अच्छा आप तो राजी है ना सरपंच साहब? हाँ तो मैं आपके लिए आ जाता हूँ।
Can you see the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello everyone. Today we discuss about arterial blood pressure. Blood pressure is the lateral pressure exerted by moving column of blood on the blood vessel wall. Maximum and minimum pressure, the arterial system, are known as systolic and diastolic pressure sensors. The instrument commonly used for the measurement of blood pressure is sphygmomanometer. Sphygmomanometer consists of an inflatable flat rubber bag covered by a non-distensible cloth envelope called Viva cup. The cavity of the bag is connected by a long rubber tube to a manometer and by a short rubber tube to rubber trunk. A small valve is provided between the pump and the bag, which permits the escape of air and direction of the pressure when required. The manometer is a U-shaped tube, one limb being broader than the other. The broader limb is the reservoir for mercury, and the narrow limb is graduated from 0 to 300 milliliters, with the smallest division corresponding to a reading of 2 millimeter of mercury. Inflatable bag dimension, length to width ratio is 2:1. Therefore, wider cup should be used to record blood pressure in obese individual and in lower limb, and small cups should be used to record blood pressure in children. During blood pressure measurement, following precautions are required. The subject should be given at least few minutes rest. No backbone is available. The arm of the subject should be completely closed and kept at heart level. Keep the cup at heart level of the subject. While tying the cup, please take care. Middle of the inflatable bag should be just above the brachial artery. The cup should neither be too tight nor be too loose. This is inside the cup. The initial mercury mark must be at 0.
Okay, so this gap is important, 2 centimeters above the elbow. Plus these tubings must come a little more centralized.
Palpate the radial column. Inflate the back gradually till the pulse at wrist is separate. Then deflate the cup very slowly and note the pressure which starts over the radial arm. This is systolic pressure. So by palpatory method, we can get a rough idea of the pressure. Advantage of palpatory method. The little gap, if present, is not missed in the actual measurement, but fluctuation is left. Next is osteometry. Apply the stethoscope only over the reflex located by palpation. Now, inflate the cup to few minutes of nerve above the cup. Now, as palpatory. Then, deflate it slowly and listen to the appearance of series of sounds known as pulse sound. The pressure at which the sound appears is the point of systolic pressure, and the point at which sound muffles or disappears is the measure of diastolic blood pressure. Corrective sound. When the pressure in the cup is progressively lower, the sounds undergo a series of changes in their quality and intensity. They are heard in 4 different phases. These sounds are known as corrective sound. Appearance of faint tapping sound is recorded as systolic blood pressure. As you lower down the mercury column, gradually the sound becomes murmurish. Then it becomes loud and clear sound, and then it becomes muffled and finally disappears. Disappearance of the sound is known as diastolic blood pressure.
Okay, so are things a little more clearer? So if given the situation, will you be able to assess all the 5 parameters? Yes, boys?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you just name the 5 parameters?
Ma'am,
What are
that
the 5 parameters we just checked?
ma'am, the users
Pulses,
sphygmomanometer.
respiratory, pulses, respiratory,
Yes?
BP, temperature,
Okay. Reaction to pupil?
reaction to pupil, 5.
Okay. So first, when we had a casualty, where have we reached? We will make him lie down on a flat surface. Look, listen and feel. Then we will call him by name. Say, come on, Vansh, get up, get up. Then we will sprinkle some water. Give him a small slap and then check for these 5 parameters. Okay. I'll wind up the class for now and we will meet up again at 3 o'clock. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. See you.
Thank you, ma'am.